y'all, Cerebral Watcher Grab Binoculars, and we back with another rankings video, baby. We talking about the draft again, baby. The draft coming up, I think it's 3 weeks away. So we gonna knock out these rankings real fast. You feel me? And today, we ranking safety. So do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, hype the video if you on mobile. Do all the YouTube stuff. Comment who's your favorite safety in this draft. Talk about at the end of the video if I rank some of these guys wrong, some of these guys I'm too high on, some of these guys I'm too low on. Who did I leave off the list completely? Do all the YouTube football discourse in the comments. I love when y'all comment. I try to read every single one and respond to it if I can, but there do be a lot of comments. But let's not even waste no time, baby. Let's get into the video. All right, last time I did a rankings video was the linebackers, and y'all showed love. So I need y'all to show the same love. I need at least 1,000 likes. Not 1,000 likes, 1,000 views, 100 likes. Do all the YouTube stuff. You know what it is. We did this based off of tiers, but it was still ranked in those tiers. So it was sectioned off based off of play style or role in the offense or what type of impact they'll have in year 1, year 2, whatever it is. We're going to do the same thing with the safety, so let's not waste no more time. Number 10, Kamari Ramsey out of USC, University of Southern California, because y'all know y'all going to be debating in the comments. Anyways, this is a free safety to me. Now, I know because of injuries, he had to roll down, play a lot of nickel, play a lot of kind of strong safety a little bit, but mostly it was playing nickel. But at free safety, I really love his range. I really love the ability to flip his hips, to identify routes, to cover tight ends in off coverage downfield, to make plays towards the ball or on the ball. He's not a guy that's just going to stand back there and be the deepest guy. He will try to make plays on the ball. And even when he was playing nickel, you saw flashes of, hey, he's going to be decent in close quarters. If you need him to play a little bit of man, he could do that. But also, his run support was a lot better than I expected it to be at big nickel. I mean, he's rolling down, making hits on screens. He's putting some big hits on tape. He showed a little bit more versatility than we thought, but he still wasn't great at it. But I think if you put him at his regular position of free safety, he looks a lot better. So that's why he's in this sleeper tier. Then number 9, a guy I really, really liked. I was watching J-Rod or Jacob Rodriguez, and this guy just kept flashing. I thought it was J-Rod. I'm like, who is this guy that keeps flying around like this? Because they're about the same size damn near. But Cole Wisnowski, they not the same size. I think Cole Wisnowski's like 6'3". But still, Cole Wisnowski, I think that's how you say his name, out of Texas Tech, safety. He played a lot of he played all over the field at Texas Tech, but also he went to North Dakota State. And I do want to mention, I only watched one game of tape from North Dakota State because that's all I had. And he had a lot of interceptions. That when I looked up that stat sheet from his last year in North Dakota State 2023, he had 8 interceptions. So is he a ball hawk? I don't know. I watched a couple highlights. I was like, yeah, he's kind of getting there, but some of them are some tips and kind of getting in the right place. But we talked about that last year. Well, watch. If you're in the right place all the time, that's just you. You know where to be. But Cole Wisnowski, I think this is going to be your big nickel kind of star, strong safety. He likes to come down, make tackles. He flies down hills. He fills lanes immediately. But also, you can see him over the top showing a little bit of range, showing the ability to get his hands on the ball, get some close interceptions at Texas Tech. I don't think he had any, but he had a couple pass breakups where it's like, dang, man, you bring that in, boy, that's a great turnover for you on tape. But even without him catching it, just being able to get there and show the range that he has to knock passes away or drop passes or drop interceptions, I should say. I do like what I see from Cole Wisnowski a lot more than a lot of the other guys that I left off of this list. Very sound tackler, very decent, very intriguing range, and a very intriguing player. I guess both of these guys will be kind of like your star role players where they make a flash or play 2 flashes a game. It's like, oh, this is why I love that guy. Your Kirk Coleman's, guys like that, even though he was much better than that. But that's all I got for the bottom 2 guys. Let's get into, I want to say 8, 7, and 6. Let's move on. All right, let's talk about this next crop of guys. I have it listed as high risk, high reward guys. Some of it is because how they play. Some of it is you really like parts of their games. It's super high highs. But there are some holes in their games that is easy to notice. I don't know. I like these guys grouped together, though, because I think I view them very closely, even though there is one clear favorite. So starting with number 8, Zakee Wheatley, a guy I really liked early on in the process, a lot of flash plays that he made. I was watching against the Iowa game. I was like, man, this guy is really, really good. I thought he could be, what's the guy from Penn State last year that tore his ACL? I really liked him last year. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, the safety, number 21. I thought he would be like that. Not as much. He didn't impact the game as much as I wanted to as when I was watching him. A lot of it was just being the deepest guy. And y'all know I'm not, as you can see from the last time, I'm not the biggest fan of that. But if you move him closer to the line, I like him. I like him in hooks. I like him in curl flats. I like him closer to the line where it's harder for a quarterback to layer the ball over him because he's so athletic. He can jump so high. He's so long and tall. Pause. That was crazy. He's able to get his hands on the ball and affect the quarterback's throwing windows. And I want to be able to access that for Zakee Wheatley. Also, he is a pretty good tackler. I do see him lay some really, really big hits on his tape. He is a slender guy, though, so you want to see him maybe add a little bit more mass, add a little bit more core strength maybe, so he doesn't kind of get, not ran over, but like lose the inertia war a little bit. So I like Zakee Wheatley, though. I think there are some parts of his game where I could just see him getting better, and I want to see him be better as a playmaker, making more plays on the ball as an interception and more passes. I mean, he had 8 forced fumbles or something like that, or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. He had a lot of forced fumbles, though. I do know that. He had a lot of forced fumbles, a lot of fumble recovery. So you see him around the ball and making plays. We know about all that stuff. I just wanted to see him be better at deep safety, which is what they kept placing him at, or kept playing him at. But he looked a lot better when he was close to the line. Next one, this is the high risk, high reward as far as his play goes. Bud Clark, I'm a huge fan of Bud Clark. Let me keep this straight. I'm a huge fan of all these safeties. I think every single safety on this list, speaking to the last two, 10 and 9, Kamari Ramsey, I think both of those guys are round 3, 4 guys. Yeah, I think Kamari Ramsey could go round 4, maybe round 5, early 5. Everybody outside of Kamari Ramsey, round 4 and up. That's how good this list is. So talking about that, Bud Clark out of TCU, I'm going to say he's a 6-year player, really long time in college, but super duper productive on ball. He's seen him play a little bit of slot, but a lot of the times I want to see him at free safety. He just plays so well, flipping his hips and running downfield, getting into his back pedal, but also still being able to come forward and make plays on the ball. I want to say he had 15 career interceptions, 15 interceptions in 6 years. I know it's a lot of time, but some of it was because of injury, so really it's like 15 in 5 or 4 years. I love Bud Clark, but he gambles a lot. He's not getting those interceptions for free. Think of it as a great hitter, where you could be a great hitter who gets 50, 60 home runs, but then you get 200 plus strikeouts, 230 plus strikeouts. That's how I view Bud Clark. So if you can get him to maybe be better with his gambles or a little more educated in his guesses and still be as productive as an interceptor or a playmaker on the ball, man, he's going to be super impactful. But then sometimes you're just going to have to live with him giving up a big play because he's a gambler if he doesn't fix that. Now, I like him, though. I like Bud Clark. I think this is a good round 3 to 4 safety easily. Moving on, Jalen Kilgore, a guy I got to spoke to at the Senior Bowl. I really like Jalen Kilgore as a person. He was a cool dude. We talked about the Panthers, talked about JC, all that stuff. Even talked to him a little bit off camera about what the Panthers said. Wink, wink. Vibes was good, though. But Jalen Kilgore, or Jalen Kilgore, however you say his name. Shout out to Jalen. This is your big slot nickel, but he's not a nickel corner. He's a nickel safety, and this is where the I like parts of their game and really high on parts of their game. Like his run defense, really high on, really good at getting off of offensive linemen, making plays in the backfield, walking up into the box, being a hang defender, going after guys on the backside, pursuit, tackling. That part of his game, super high on, super high. But then we get to the why I say he's a big nickel safety, not a corner. In close quarters, sometimes his hips aren't oily enough to flip and run. Like KC Concepcion, no, it's kind of a bad example because he's one of the best receivers in his class and super explosive. He was running by him. But it wasn't just him. It was a couple guys. Antonio Williams from Clemson. He was running by him. He was able to just get by him across his face on crossers and get downfield. So you don't necessarily want him being a full-time corner. If you can get him to be a versatile safety piece like he was in South Carolina or that big nickel safety, I think you're happy. That Kyle Hamilton role or Nick Emmanwori, matter of fact, because he played the same role as Nick Emmanwori in South Carolina. I think you're happy. I mean, that run defense, but also the ball skills. I want to say he was a former wide receiver, which we talked about, and his ability to just go up and either catch the ball or knock it away, kind of track the ball when it's thrown deep. It really makes me like him as a free safety a little bit because you're going to see him make plays on the ball. But then that run defense is so good where it's like, yeah, you kind of want him towards the line of scrimmage. And even underneath, he was making plays on the ball, undercutting routes and things like that. So I think there's a tier gap between Jalen Kilgore, Bud Clark, and Zakee Wheatley. Like Bud Clark and Zakee Wheatley together. A little bit of a gap. Jalen Kilgore, or Jalen Kilgore, however you say his name. I don't know why I keep saying Jalen because it's an O in there. But Jalen Kilgore. There's going to be a little bit of a gap, but they're still in the same quadrant to me. Jalen Kilgore, I could see being a late second, early third player. Bud Clark is a late third, middle to late third, early fourth. Zakee Wheatley, I could see him being just a third round player overall. Maybe even fourth round if he falls too far. But yeah, I like these guys. You can see it's a clear gap from where I think they'll get drafted. But moving on to the next couple of guys. All right, let's get into the next tier, guys. This is 5 and 4. Both these guys, second to first round guys. Late first to second round guys. Yes, and we're still on 5 and 4. That's how good this class is to me. Now, these are your playmaking hitters. These guys want to go and unbuckle your chin strap when they come across the middle and hit you. These guys like to hit, but they're not the strong safety quasi linebacker guys. They're still pretty rangy in coverage. And that leads me into a guy that's going to be a little bit controversial, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I like EMW. Really, really good player. I was really, really high on him. I did his eval in like early February before I went to the Senior Bowl. I think it was, actually no, it was January because he was supposed to be at the Senior Bowl. I wanted to do everybody's eval at the Senior Bowl before I got there so I could talk about him. I did his eval then. I almost did a full video on him. I like his game, man. I think he's going to be your best. He's going to be best as your big nickel. That Nick Eamon-Warry role, that Kyle Hamilton role, like I talked about with Jalen Kilgore. He's just much more athletic than Jalen Kilgore, and I think he's a little bit better in coverage. You don't necessarily want him in too much man, but playing in space, being able to flip his hips, get downhill towards the run, he does that. Even as a ball skills player, I seen him flip his hips and get downfield. I want to say it was against BYU or maybe it was against Penn State and make a big pass breakup downfield, but also that length. I talked about it with Zakee Wheatley a little bit. You just want this guy in those hooks, those curl flats. So when guys are trying to, if you're playing zone and they're trying to run guys across the middle of the field on digs, crosser, things like that, his length, height, and vertical, it's going to be so hard to throw over him. And he's still going to be an asset in the run game or as a blitzer playing from that spot. Now, he is versatile. You can't move him. I think he can play free safety. I just don't know if he's best suited for his, not best suited, or he's going to make the biggest impact at free safety. You see what I mean? And we'll talk about that later with two other guys on this list. But the biggest impact to me will be closer to that Kyle Hamilton, Nick Eamon-Warry, Jalen Kilgore role, closer to the box. Still a coverage player, but being able to get his hands on the ball every other snap. Because he forces a lot of fumbles. There's another guy who forced a lot of fumbles. So you don't want a guy who's going to be really, really good at peanut punching 20 yards downfield. You want that guy in the box creating those turnovers in the middle of the field on run plays, on pass plays, whatever it is. He forced. Now this is the guy I think that forced 8 fumbles, if I'm being correct. I know him as Zakee Wheatley forced a lot of fumbles, but this guy, I remember watching his tape, and he forced 2 or 3 fumbles alone on the tape watch. So, yeah, man, I like Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I still think he's a first-round guy, late first-rounder. But this next guy, A.J. Halsey, LSU. If you got the Patreon, you already know. I ain't going to do too much talking because the Patreon folks already paid. Y'all got to go get that. Go to the Patreon, watch the A.J. Halsey eval. Go get that. It's short, too. It's only like 14 minutes, 15 minutes. Go get that. And then go get the rest. But A.J. Halsey, another guy who is a big hitter. You look at his highlights, and you see these big hits all over his tape. He just loves to get downhill, throw his body and throw his shoulder into people and make splashy plays. And you think, strong safety. Nope. This guy's range, this guy's route identification is top tier. Some of the best in this class. He loves to make plays on the ball, and I see him make plays on the ball plenty of times. When I did his tape eval, he had 3 interceptions alone. Multiple times where he's just flipping his hips, going from one route, seeing the QB move his eyes, get to the next route, make a pass breakup or intercept the pass. I love A.J. Halsey. Good tackler, good coverage player. I think this could be your free safety. Now, this is going to be your free safety like Jesse Bates, where you want him coming towards the line of scrimmage, jumping things underneath. That's that type of free safety role you want him to be. Not necessarily a Justin Simmons or somebody who's going to play 30 yards off. He can't do that. Or a Loie Gilman who's going to play 30 yards off. He can't do that, but you really want to give him the freedom to cowboy it a little bit and jump something underneath and leave a deep route open if he needs to, like Jesse Bates did plenty of times in Bryce's debut. That's where a lot of his interceptions came from, just patrolling that middle of the field. The in between the hashes where the linebacker's supposed to be, patrolling that and jumping routes right there, he gets a lot of interceptions. So I like AJ Halsey. Go to the Patreon, patreon.com/TheRealBallWatcher. Pay for a free month, get a free trial or whatever it is, then pay or do whatever and go watch that AJ Halsey eval if you want more. Let's move on to the next tier, baby. All right, the top 3 guys. This is your upper echelon. You probably thinking, okay, AJ Halsey not top 3. What's his name? Emmanuel McNeil Warren ain't top 3. I probably know who the top 2 guys are, but who's number 3? And this is Trayden Stukes out of Arizona. Y'all see the graphic. It is another tier gap here, but I do think Trayden Stukes is better than the other guys below him. He's not quite on this elite level like the other 2 guys. As you can see, elite versatile playmakers. He's in the projected versatile playmaker where I think if he played free safety, he would be in this elite versatile playmakers. Simple as that. So, all these guys basically can play anywhere all over the field. They can play free safety. They can play nickel. They can play strong safety a little bit. Maybe not as much for Trayden Stukes, but you can move them around and you're still going to see great production from them. But there still are specific roles I like for him better. So let's talk about Trayden Stukes because this might be a long convo. This guy's a corner. At Arizona, he played a lot of outside corner, a lot of nickel corner. He did play a little bit of safety. But from what I'm hearing, he's moving to free safety in the NFL, and I love that. His ability to trigger and get downhill, undercut routes and intercept them, undercut screens and make pass breakups is some of the best in this class, regardless of position. Whether you're outside safety, nickel corner, strong safety, free safety, whatever you play, he is some of the best click and close on the ball skills in actually making plays on the ball. It's not click and close and make a tackle. Click and close and make a play on the ball. He is maybe the best at that. Simple as that. I love Stukes. In his range, I think he ran 4.3 at the combine. He is a 5-year player or 6-year player because he did tear his ACL. He had an injury that kicked him out for a year, knocked him out for a year, whatever it is. Took a little minute to get back. So he is an older player, but he still ran 4.3. And you see it on his tape. His range, even when there's this one play against Arizona State where he's in nickel, then he kind of fades back, rolls back before the snap of the ball. So he's kind of playing nickel, kind of playing quarter safety. Boom, they run a post against that quarters. Nobody follows except for him, and he still has about 5 to 7 yards of separation from the wide receiver. He closes the gap so fast, goes up over the wide receiver's back and intercepts the pass. Not broke up the pass, intercepted, like with Cole Wisnowski where I said, oh, he shows the range to get there, he just didn't catch it. He catches it. Like, dog, if you need him to play nickel, he's going to be an elite nickel. If you need him to play free safety, I'm very close to saying he's going to be an elite free safety. This is that you can play him deep, let him turn his hips and make plays downfield like a Justin Simmons used to, or what's the guy that used to play for the Bills? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But like I said, this guy is a projection because he didn't necessarily play safety full-time in college. It was some snaps here and there. But I'm projecting it to be better than everybody else that's below him. Simple as that. I love Trayden Stukes. I'm not going to lie. If a team took Trayden Stukes, if it was not for the injury and not for the age, a team would probably take Trayden Stukes in the first round. I see him the same way as I see AJ Halsey and Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Very late first. Like, I'm talking about like 26, 25 and on. Second round pick. I think Trayden Stukes might, if the Panthers are there at 51. Jacob Rodriguez is gone. You already took a wide receiver, whatever. Max Clear is gone, which we'll talk about a little later with that Max Clear eval. Trayden Stukes is probably the number one guy on my board to play free safety for us. If Halsey, he's better than Halsey, but if Dylan Thieneman's gone, this is your free safety. Simple as that. And he's a good tackler too. So I love Trayden Stukes. That's enough glazing. Let's move on. Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon. I love Dylan Thieneman. I don't know if it's Thieneman or Thieneman. I've been saying Thieneman my whole life, but everybody say Thieneman. Thieneman, free safety, but he's also so versatile. His first year of free safety at Purdue, 6 interceptions as a true freshman. 6 interceptions as a true freshman, playing deep safety. That's what I was talking about earlier when I said, who was it? AJ Halsey would be coming forward, playing, jumping things underneath, not necessarily playing 20, 30 yards off. This guy, Dylan Thieneman, was playing 20, 30 yards off as a freshman, 18-year-old, getting 6 interceptions in the Big Ten. He can do that. He got range. He ran 4.3. We already saw the combine. We saw the elite explosiveness and stuff. He has the range. But then the next year, they move him close to the line. Playing a little bit of split safety, a little bit of strong, a little bit of nickel, a little bit of free. Then it transfers from Purdue, goes to Oregon. We got him playing damn near quasi linebacker, big nickel. Sometimes he plays a little bit of deep safety, or he's like their cover 2 robber in that cover 2 zone. And he looked even better. This is the only guy that, to me, can be a great prospect at all 3 safety positions, because nowadays there's 3 of them. Nickel, I think if you let him play in space like that Kyle Hamilton role, he'll be elite there. Strong safety, I think he could be a really, really great strong safety. Maybe not a great nickel, but elite nickel, but a great nickel. Then at free safety, I think he's an elite free safety. I think it's great, elite free safety. I think the best spot for him is free safety, and let him go make plays on the ball, but then sometimes rolling him down, especially if you're multiple with your safeties. I love Dylan Thieneman. One thing about him, he does need to be stronger. He is a little younger guy, so maybe you can add a couple pounds to that frame without taking away his range, so he can be a little bit stronger when it comes to the inertia battle, that tackle point that we talked about earlier. Sometimes he does get ran over. I've seen it on the tape at Oregon. Y'all ain't got a lot, if you want him to play close press man coverage, like a real nickel corner, not a nickel safety like we talked about with Jalen Kilgore, he's going to get beat at times. You want him playing on tight ends. You want him playing that nickel safety role and be giving him some space to cover so he can kind of click and close and recover if he gets beat on one way. But as close as elite as it gets, this is a surefire top 20 first round pick to me. And I'm praying he make it to 19, especially if Kenyon Sadiq don't, because at that point you got to run the card up there. Simple as that. Moving on, Caleb Downs. We all know about Caleb Downs. Elite player, top 15 pick to me. The thing about Caleb Downs is he can play free safety. He played a lot of free safety, but I think what's best for him is being that nickel corner, really, or nickel safety, either or. Because Downs' ability to play the run and be a numbers advantage in the box is really, really good. As a blitzer, he's able to knife around blocks. He's able to tackle guys much bigger. Like, I just think of that one Tyler Warren play where Tyler Warren's running a QB power like they did back in the day at Penn State. Not back in the day. It was last year, 2 years ago. But they're running that QB power, and there's a lane open, and it's small Caleb Downs and humongous Tyler Warren. And Caleb Downs did not fret. He got downhill, took his legs out from under him, and made that tackle immediately without any help. Caleb Downs is an asset against the run, but also even against Tyler Warren, they matched him up a lot of the times in the slot, and he was able to do it well. So if you really want him to be your tight end eraser, if you want him to be your slot eraser, I want to see him play a little bit more, because he guarded a lot of tight ends on the tape I watched. I want to see him be a little, I want to see what he does against slot receivers. Like, I would have loved to see him against KC Concepcion like I did with Jalen Kilgore. So I would know, is he a nickel or is he a safety? But right now, I love him at nickel strong safety, getting him downhill, making him an advantage player against the run, getting him closer to the ball so he can make plays on the ball. But even at free safety, we've seen him return 2 punts for touchdowns. We've seen him get interceptions. So I think he'll still be a good free safety if you play him there. But I think it's best, so that's why he's still versatile, but I think it's best if he's closer to the line. Yeah, man, that's all I got. I'm losing my voice over here. My voice getting a little dry. I got allergies. So if it sounded weird, if it was a couple cuts, that's why. But yeah, do me a favor, man. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Let me know who am I too high on. Let me know who is my mini eval on, a little incorrect about. Let me know all the comments. Let me know all the stuff in the comments. Simple as that. I want to know who's your favorite safety prospect. I know a lot of guys like Jalen Husky. A lot of guys like, I don't know. Who am I forgetting? VJ Payne. It's a lot of guys that I left off this list because there's a lot of good safeties in this class. Like, a lot of the guys I got left off, to me, are like 4th round, 5th round guys. And that's really, really good to be left off of the top 10 list. So, yeah, man, it's been a real ball watcher. Do me a favor. Do all the YouTube stuff. Go to my Patreon, patreon.com/TheRealBallWatcher. I am doing evals until the draft. So you got about 3-4 more evals to get out. About to record Mass Claire right now. But yeah, man. Put it in binoculars. I'll see y'all next week.